The U.S. federal government officially shuts down in 2025 after Congress failed to pass funding by the October 1 deadline. Overnight, hundreds of programs cease or scale back, federal employees are furloughed, and the ripple effects begin to touch everyday Americans in ways both obvious and subtle. Federal workers, including administrative staff and program operators, are sent home without pay. Some essential services continue, but staffing and morale drop sharply as uncertainty looms over when money will return. Even before the shutdown, agencies prepared for the worst, drafting contingency plans and executing reduction in force memos. This time, the administration's guidance includes potential permanent layoffs in addition to furloughs, raising the stakes for career federal workers. Federal pay and benefits are in limbo. While law guarantees back pay for many furloughed workers once funding is restored, the gap in cash flow can strain families with bills, mortgages, and everyday expenses. Veterans and Social Security recipients breathe slightly easier, benefits continue during shutdowns under existing law. But other programs, like food aid, are more vulnerable, certain assistance could be delayed or scaled back. Health agencies take a heavy hit. Roughly 41% of Health and Human Services staff could be furloughed, with CDC and NIH operations disrupted. Reuters Plus One. Public health surveillance, disease research, and disease prevention work slow down, leaving gaps in monitoring outbreaks or enforcing health regulations. The risk rises quietly, in the background. Air travel faces major disruptions. The FAA is forced to furlough over 11,000 employees, while air traffic controllers remain on the job, without pay. Reuters. Airport staffing, safety inspections, and maintenance may be delayed. Travelers could experience longer lines, reduced staffing, and increased delays that pile up across schedules. Agencies overseeing cybersecurity are crippled. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, furloughs most of its staff, leaving the nation vulnerable to threats. The Washington Post. Critical threats might go unnoticed or under-responded. In a digital age, a temporary gap in oversight can have outsized, delayed consequences. Markets react almost immediately. Investors retreat to safe havens, stocks wobble, bond yields shift, and uncertainty reigns as the shutdown casts a shadow over growth projections. Business Insider Plus One. The White House warns that the economy may lose $15 billion in GDP per week due to stalled federal operations and reduced consumer spending. Politico. State and local governments feel the strain too. Grants, reimbursements, and federal aid programs are paused, slowing cash flow to schools, shelters, and infrastructure projects. Tourism and travel are hit hard. Airlines warn of safety inspection delays and hiring freezes in air traffic operations, while the U.S. Travel Association estimates costs of $1 billion per week. Reuters Plus Two. Travelers to U.S. national parks, museums, and federally run attractions may find closures or reduced services. These public gems often depend on federal operations and staff. Small businesses around federal facilities, leasing office space or serving government workers, see foot traffic drop. Cafes, shops, and local services take an immediate hit. Consumers feel the pinch. Delays in regulatory oversight, permit processing, and loan guarantees slow commerce. Projects needing federal approval stall while Washington gridlocks. Food assistance is at risk. Programs like WIC may face disruptions without funding, threatening families who depend on nutrition aid. Politico Plus Two. The Washington Post Plus Two. Healthcare subsidies under the ACA may expire without extension, potentially doubling premiums for millions. The shutdown fights are tied to these embedded policy disputes. AP News. Some college students and researchers wait on federal grants and loan disbursements. Without those funds, tuition payments, research grants, and scholarships may be delayed. Permitting and environmental projects stall in limbo. New infrastructure, land development, and regulatory reviews are put on pause midstream. Even nostalgia programs, museums, cultural grants, historical site maintenance, are scaled down or shuttered until funding returns. In politics, blame is flying. Leaders from both parties accuse each other of holding critical services hostage as pressure mounts. Expected blame games are amplified by the 2026 elections. Lawmakers understand that public sentiment could shift dramatically in the coming months. Every shutdown leaves scars. In 2025, analysts warn the country's credit rating may be at stake, which increases borrowing costs for years to come. Reuters. If this shutdown drags, permanent cuts could follow. Agencies may never fully recover staffing, and programs lost in budget cuts may not return. But if Congress acts fast, relief comes quickly. Back pay, reopening of services, and a return to routine are all possible with a negotiated deal. You don't have to work in Washington to feel it. Whether you're waiting on a permit, traveling, or receiving benefits, the shutdown has real effects at home. Staying informed is critical. Watch for updates on your programs, pay schedule, and government websites. Prepare for delays, adjust your plans, and expect short-term chaos. But remember, shutdowns end, and recovery begins quickly with funding. The story isn't over. The longer the shutdown lasts, the deeper its scars will run.